So I want you to think back to when you were a little kid and your parents told you that you could be anything when you grow up. All right, think back for a moment. What is it that you wanted to be? That's right, you wanted to be a badass futuristic cybernetic ninja, but you failed, and now no matter what you're doing right now, whatever your occupation, it is way less cool than being a badass futuristic cybernetic ninja. Lucky for you, back in 2020, there was a small Polish indie game company that went by the name of One More Level, along with a Danish publisher that went by the name of 3D Realms, and another small Danish indie company that went by the name of Slipgate Ironworks. And together, these guys created a little unexpected gem that helped millions around the world realize their lifelong childhood dreams of being a badass, futuristic, cybernetic ninja. And if you've never heard of it, well, then you're in for a treat, because we're going to be taking a look back at the sprawling, fast-paced, cyberpunk action experience that was Ghostrunner. So one thing I want to make perfectly clear right off the bat before I get on with the rest of the video is that if you're buying and you're playing this game, you are buying and playing it for the gameplay first and foremost. So yes, there is a theme, yes, there is a story, and I think they're both kind of cool, but spoiler alert, I don't think either of them are worth buying the game for. But what is worth buying the game for by a long shot is, well, that and that. This game is just so much fun. It is so fast-paced, and when you couple it with the music and the aesthetics, it is just this awesome, fast-paced cyberpunk experience that you really, really need to try. So first up, let's meet Jack. No, not Samurai Jack. This one's a ninja. But not just any ninja. Jack is a Ghostrunner, a once elite group of cybernetically enhanced warriors in charge of keeping the peace in a dystopian arcology, also the last bastion of humankind, known as Dharma Tower. You wake up in the middle of this sprawling mega tower some odd years after having been soundly defeated by the tower's now dictator, the Keymaster. Thanks to a voice in his head who calls himself the Architect, apparently the ghost AI of whoever built this tower, all Jack knows upon waking up is that he needs to find the Keymaster and take her down. So for now, that's all I'm actually going to say on the story, because that's probably all the context that either you, or definitely not Genji here, need to start running and slicing dudes in half by the dozens. So I already said the combat is fantastic, but what actually makes it fantastic? Well, the first thing you need to understand about Ghostrunner is that even though you are a very powerful, effective, and efficient killing machine, you are very fragile. In this game, you'll die in one hit. If a bullet so much as nicks one of your big toes, you're dead. So in this game, in order to survive, you are going to have to be very, very fast. Speed is everything in Ghostrunner. To survive, you must constantly be moving, constantly be thinking about where you're going next, and constantly be reacting to your nearby surroundings. In the philosophy, one of the greatest video game bosses of all time, the moment you hesitate, you are defeated, and your death is practically guaranteed. And of course, key to emphasizing speed in any video game is probably how you handle the movement, so let's take a closer look at that. Ghostrunner is an action platformer, and honestly, it's probably got some of the best first-person platforming of any game I've played. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. You can run on walls, zip line, tether on certain points of the environment, but most importantly, you can dash. And when you dash in this game for a brief period of time, time will slow down, giving you a small moment to assess the situation, but even more critically, it allows you to change your momentum even while in midair. It's hard to convey just how smart I think this mechanic is, because this one aspect of the game enables so much, and not just for the platforming, but for the combat as well. On the platforming side, this slowdown and momentum shift allows you to be a little imprecise with your movements. You have to move fast, so a lot of the time you won't have a chance to calculate the exact right distance and angle from one wall to another. So when you jump and realize you're off course, you can just dash to correct yourself and keep on moving. But during combat is really when this mechanic becomes a game changer. The enemies in this game actually have fairly decent aim, good enough that if you're just running straight at them, or if your lateral movement is close to zero relative to them, they will hit you. But despite being more fragile than Mr. I Need Healing, this dash enables you to zip through and circumvent enemy fire like a maniac. This mechanic is what keeps the game constantly moving at a breakneck pace. So speed permeates every aspect of this game's design philosophy, or at least it seems that every aspect of this game was built with speed and momentum in mind in some way or another. But the designers actually did something pretty smart here, which is that they know that you'll be dying a lot. So, if you'll be dying a lot, just like with moving, you should also die very, very fast. And did you see how fast I respawned there when I died? I'll take another look. I mean, you can actually respawn even faster than that. Look at that. You were going to be dying a lot, and designers knew that, so they had you respawn very, very fast. It's almost jarring how fast you respawn, but honestly, it is one of the best things about this game, and thank goodness for it. Well, not there. So as the game progresses, you'll unlock new tools and upgrades, and the kinds of enemies that you'll encounter will steadily grow. And while that sort of thing might be perfectly expected in a game like this, it's important to note that the rate at which these things get thrown at you is very well done. At no point should you feel overwhelmed by what the game throws at you, and you'll more than likely find a use for every new tool in your arsenal at some point or another. That's not to say that the game never slows down, and I think the designers felt they needed to break up this non-stop action somehow. And here's where we get to what I would consider one of the weaker aspects of the gameplay, that is, Cyber Void. Every once in a while, the story will drop you in Dharma Tower's version of The Matrix. And they'll take away your ability to dash, and they'll ask you to do some sort of platforming or some sort of kooky puzzle. I already explained why the dashing makes platforming in this game so fun and interesting, so having the platform without the dash just kind of makes the game feel like any other generic first-person platformer. And while I personally like the puzzles here don't really feel like they add much, and they feel so disconnected from the rest of the gameplay that I'm not convinced they were worthwhile additions. There's a boss battle that is basically one big platforming puzzle, and I feel like that fight is a better example of what these sections could have been. Luckily, there aren't that many of them, and it's only a minor complaint. Quick aside on the boss battles, by the way, there are 3 of them, and they're very different from one another. The first one versus Tom is frustrating, but extremely memorable. The second one isn't very difficult, but it's at least a little satisfying in finding out how you're supposed to beat it. But the third one absolutely sucks, and it's versus Mara, the Octo Lady that you see at the beginning of the game. I'll have a lot more to say on her later. And something I haven't mentioned yet that I think is very important is the scoreboard you get at the end of every level. If you thought there was no consequence to dying other than you having to hit the button immediately to try again, well, you're mistaken. Because I can think of no worse punishment than seeing that I died more times or completed a level slower than any of my friends on Steam. Honestly, this adds so much for me. It just helps to emphasize that high tempo gameplay and quick decision making that we mentioned earlier. And funnily enough, aside from the Cyber Void moments, the game won't even slow down for the story. Aside from the opening and closing cutscenes, there are no cutscenes or long monologues to keep you from getting back into the action. So speaking of which, we should probably take a break from talking about the action and actually take another look back at the story. First, let me point out some quick positives. The main character, Jack, I actually like him. I mean, he might be a little bit stoic and generic, but he at least has some of his own opinions and curiosities. He's not like a complete robot or anything like that. And he has a really, really cool voice. Speaking of voices, I actually think everyone in this game is really well voice acted. I mean, despite how generic a character might look on paper, when I actually hear them speaking, it makes me care about those characters a lot more than I probably should, but that's a good thing. I'm also impressed that a lot of the aspects of the world seem to be a little more well thought out than they needed to be. For example, I like that they actually give an explanation in the game for why your character is a ninja, as in why doesn't he just use guns? And I like that they explain why he's actually called a Ghostrunner. When I started the game, I really thought they just went with something that sounded cool, like Blade Runner. I still don't know why they're called Blade Runners, by the way, but that's whatever. That's a whole nother topic. And beyond all that, you can probably tell by the tone in my voice that I'm not like a huge fan of the story. And I don't want you to get me wrong. I by no means think that the story of the Ghostrunner is bad, but I really just think it's passable. It's very, very generic. It's very, very predictable. Whatever you think is probably going to happen in the story is what's going to happen in the story. It's nothing special by any means. If you just want to play the game for the gameplay, it's easy to get as invested or to ignore the story to whatever degree that you wish. But one thing I think that really drags down the entire story, and by a huge margin, is the main villain. That is Mara, the Octo Lady you saw at the beginning of the game. The main villain is supposed to be this brilliant scientist who managed to outsmart the architect of this megalopolis, neutralize 100 Ghostrunners, and apparently she's trying to save humanity and return us to the outside world, which is currently uninhabitable due to a long ago apocalyptic event known as the Burst. But her grand plan is, at best, just cartoonishly evil. I'll be honest, I probably shouldn't even be that concerned with the story or the villain for a game that really just exists to make you feel like a cold-blooded assassin, but I can't help it here. This is a cyberpunk game, and cyberpunk is my favorite genre, so I'm going to hold cyberpunk games to a little more scrutiny than other kinds of games. You see, people have a habit of really falling head over heels for the aesthetic of cyberpunk without really getting into the philosophy that the cyberpunk settings are really meant to convey. Larger than life questions like how far should technology go or what does it mean to be human, Ghostrunner isn't about that. It's a very shallow version of cyberpunk, which is a little bit of a bummer because I would have loved another cyberpunk universe to obsess with. But I'm digressing, let's get back to Mara for a second. She's supposed to be this super genius who can dock herself and genetically re-alter humanity at a whim, and her boss battle is literally just her standing in one place and swinging a limb at you one at a time, very slowly. And then she falls for the same hit your tentacle into the electricity trick 3 times in a row until she dies. Even her voice lines are oddly empty at this point. Honestly, she ruined the whole story for me, but maybe it'll be redeemed by the next game or something. So real quick, I want to take a little bit of a detour to talk about the settings and the graphics a little bit more. So obviously, I think this game is beautiful. I mean, you can see it. You probably think it's beautiful too. I mean, the lights, the detail, it's all fantastic. It's got a bit of a more cartoonish sort of cyberpunk, over the top cyberpunk vibe, as opposed to something like Blade Runner. But I mean, for what the game is, I think that's perfect. Also, the music is fantastic. Like you can probably hear it in the background. It's very thumpy, very fast, and I mean, it always gets you in the mood. I think it hypes me up every time. So that's awesome. Yes. One thing I think is kind of a missed opportunity. It's not a negative, but it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Is Dharma Tower itself. So remember, I told you that this game takes place in like this giant arcology that's supposed to be like the last bastion of humanity. All of humanity is living in this one tower. But until the game reminds me, I kind of forget that that's supposed to be where this story is taking place. Because, I mean, if you look around, this kind of just looks like a normal city to me. And if you look up or you look down, you'll always see either some thick fog, or you'll see some enclosed walls as if you're in just some kind of abandoned facility. It's a little better around this area of the game, but even still, I still have to be reminded that this game is taking place in a giant mega tower. Nice. So again, not a real negative, but just a bit of a missed opportunity. I also find it a little funny that absolutely nowhere in this world does it appear to be easily traversable for just regular people. Even in the cityscapes, this is supposed to be a city where people actually live. And I even came across the occasional sign for a shop, but I'm often left to wonder how the hell anyone is supposed to get to any of these locations. Oh well, it's a video game. I should probably stop thinking too hard about it. Alright, so I have more things that I want to say, but I'm going to save them for the final portion of this video, where I'm going to play through the first level of the game on hardcore mode, which is a mode that you only unlock after you beat the entire game, and it's actually a mode I've never played before, so I really want to see what it's about. In that, we'll talk a little bit more about replayability and things like how the upgrading works a little more in depth, and whatever happens to come to mind while I'm playing. But for now, I want to give my final thoughts on the first Ghostrunner game, which is this. The combat, music, gameplay, movement, all of those things are exhilarating. And it truly is one of the stories of all time. If you're looking for an in-depth and exciting story, well, you're not going to find that here. But if you're just looking to feel like a really cool cyborg ninja and play some fun video games, well then it's an easy buy. $40 I think is a pretty good value if you're getting the base game and the DLC, which I haven't played yet, but I will get to. Also this year, Ghostrunner 2 released, and I am very excited to play it, and you can bet I'll be making a video about it later on. So that's all for now, that's all I have to say, so let's get to the final portion of the video where I'll do one more live playthrough, and then that's it. Thank you for watching. Alright, time for the final portion of the video. This is totally impromptu, so I hope it's entertaining and it works out well. Upgrades are available from the start. Okay, this looks good. Looks like I don't think any of my friends have actually played any of the game on hardcore mode. I get to be the standard. So first thing right off the bat, I mean the game is replayable here, right? Because you got this entire hardcore mode if you'd like to. You can so you can play through the whole game on this hardcore mode with new enemies, all the upgrades that you've unlocked so far, and what do we got? Whoa. Okay. Well, yep. That guy was not there before. Whoa. Whoa. Wow, I suck. I suck so much. They have these guys here on the first level. Oh my god, this is gonna be embarrassing. I should not have done this. Woo. Oh, there are also collectibles to unlock. Maybe I can show that here in a moment. Probably should have planned out a little bit what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, this is really hard. Wow, what the heck? Oh my god. Jesus. Okay. Unlockables. Let's see what we got here. You got new upgrades or new swords to unlock. You got new gloves that you can unlock. I can put on a different glove. That's pretty cool. Codex items to give you a little bit more into the universe if you need to. But most importantly, you got this upgrade screen, and it's pretty straightforward. You got these upgrades on the side that upgrade this particular category. You just put them in here. Every open slot does help you out a little bit. It helps you regenerate your focus, which is that meter in the bottom left that lets you use some of your special abilities. And yeah, nice and easy. All right, here we go. Here we go. Enough fooling around. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Am I doing the right ability? Oh no, it's Tempest. Damn it. There we go. Sorry, I'm out of it. I've done this. Oh my god. I did not do this to show you that I'm good at this game. I'm terrible at video games. I should make that clear. But I still love this game. What am I gonna, actually, what do I do about that guy? It seems kind of difficult. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, that was really hard. Woo! I guess I will cut out the parts that are very boring. I did want to do it all just like completely live, like just one straight playthrough, but that's not gonna work. Boom. Oh my god, no! This is really hard. Holy crap. Oh, this part was kind of hard the first time when you're just going through it. This section right here. Whoa. Woo. Oh my god. No way. Oh. Did not expect those guys to be here. Okay, so they just throw every enemy at you right off the get-go. I thought the hardcore mode would still just like try to ease you into hardcore mode, but that is negative. Negative on that one. Is there an enemy around here still? Oh, that's a freaking bummer. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, you. And then you. You bastard. Whoa. Oh. That was tough. Ooh. I love doing that. I love doing that. Go down. Oh, why didn't I go down? What is that? Ah, what even killed me? There is a mini map up at the top right, so like, if something random kills me, it is my fault. There was an opportunity to see it. There's also upgrades that make finding the enemies on the screen easier. I could use one of those if I wanted to, but I decided not to. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of these deaths out of the final video. I have to. Or else all respect for me will be lost. Ooh, I don't know how I didn't kill him there. Okay, this is good, this is good. Woo! Oh, that was really hard. Holy crap. Anything else I'm forgetting to talk about? I don't think there is. It's pretty much everything I wanted to say. I was able to beat the first level of the game without dying in the normal version, but it looks like here that's not going to happen in a million years. Ooh, I'm surprised he hit me there. Where am I going? Assess my surroundings. Okay, I take out that guy. Got him. If I die to this thing, I'll be so upset. No. No, I missed it. No! That was it. Okay, he's dead. All right, we got him. We can do this. What do we got here? I can use the blink. I just need... Where's the last guy? Oh, man. Oh, that was so hard. Holy crap. Ah. This is really hard. I died 67 times. Okay. Well, hopefully that gave you an idea of the game. Well, that's a more hardcore version of the game, obviously, but hopefully that gave you a good idea of the game. All right, with all that out of the way, I want to say thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that it entertained you and you found it informational. I hope that you go out and try this game because I actually think it's a very awesome game, if you couldn't tell by now. Thank you very much for watching, and adios.